can't believe this. Another bad review for the Canon M50 Mark II on YouTube. I mean, what does it take to make these people happy? Ah!
What's wrong?
It's nothing. You wouldn't understand. It's camera stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't understand? Oh no, I just had a successful photography business for like 3 years.
Okay, so I'm gonna let her cool down a little bit and come down here and talk about the M50. All right, so today I want to talk about why I got the Canon M50 Mark II and why I upgraded from the regular M50. There are about 5 major reasons why I decided to do this. But first, let me say, I recorded the beginning of this video on the Canon M50 on the Canon 50mm 1.8 lens, the Nifty 50 they call it. And I had the ComLight adapter, so basically that turns that full frame lens into about an 80mm, which is great for cinematic. So I recorded the beginning, the outside with that, and then when I came inside, I switched over to the f2 22mm lens. And now I am on the Canon EOS R as I'm talking about why I upgraded to this camera. So first, I want to talk about the 5 major reasons why I decided to do this. Also, I'd like to discuss another topic that seems to not be talked about enough because people are still asking this. Yes, you can stream with your regular Canon M50. And if you stick around a little bit later in this video, I'll explain how. 2 major things that I really wanted to see in this camera were 120 frames per second at 1080p. And the other thing that I could only care about the most probably is dual pixel autofocus and 4K. I don't even care if they keep the crop, just give me the dual pixel autofocus and I would be very happy with that. But neither of those things happened. We'll talk about firmware, everybody does, right? But the thing is, Canon and any other camera company are not in the business of selling firmwares. They're in the business of selling cameras. The Canon M50 is one of the best-selling mirrorless cameras ever to be put out to market. But they were missing one big major thing, was no clean HDMI. And so this is the #1 reason of why I bought the Canon M50 Mark II, the clean HDMI. Why is this so important? Well, for me, live streaming and be able to have the autofocus is tremendous, because being a content creator and having a camera that you can live stream with the dual pixel autofocus working, that works so well, is huge. Then the second reason why the clean HDMI is so important is because I record through OBS and I record directly to my hard drive. So this saves me a lot of time and fuss with dealing with my SD cards and taking my camera off the mounts and putting them back on. And this just makes for a much faster workflow. The number two reason is I autofocus in pictures and in video. If it's an upgrade with autofocus and it's actually making a difference, which I believe it is, then I think that's a great upgrade. And that is probably the second biggest reason right there, having the dual pixel autofocus with eye autofocus working on a clean HDMI camera. Number 3, which does get mentioned a lot, is the ease of use with this camera. So why didn't I go to like a Sony 6400 or a 6100? The ease of use with the menu system on this camera is a big deal. I have the Sony ZV-1. That is one of their newer menu systems with a great camera, which we're going to talk about a little bit more. And I prefer to use my Canon M50. It is so easy and great to be able to touch the touch screen while it's flipped out to me. Now you have the ZV-1 and that screen is flipped out. I wish I could just go and touch that screen and make my adjustments, but every time I gotta reach around, feel for the buttons or turn the camera around. I don't care if you have a flip screen on the ZV-1, it is much easier to go through and make changes with the Canon M50. And whether or not you have a Mark II or not, it doesn't really make the difference. You can do it on either, but it is a huge plus. And the number 4 reason why I stuck with the Canon is because the colors. The colors that come out of this camera and the 1080p video is incredible. 4K, I don't think is a big enough impact to buy an upgrade to something else. I mean, the majority of people that are looking at your videos on YouTube or anywhere else are looking at them at 1080p. And there's no question that some of the best 1080p video is coming out of Canon cameras. So again, we'll go back, and there are differences, and whether or not you're willing to spend 30% more to have 4K for a camera like a 6400, I mean, that depends on your pockets. But at a camera price point where we are, where it's $700, I think this is one of the best choices that you have. That is leading up to my number 5 answer. And the reason why I think the Canon M50 Mark II compared to other cameras like the ZV-1 is having interchangeable lenses. So like I said, I bought a cam light adapter. I can put a lot of EFS and EF lenses that a lot of times are pretty cheap on this Canon M50 Mark II. So really, when you have the biggest competitor to the M50, the Sony ZV-1, you're stuck with one lens that, listen, the Sony has its niche, and no doubt, but being able to switch to different lenses is going to attract different people for different reasons. Being able to have a camera in this price point with the viewfinder and the ability to take great pictures and ease of use, and also take great 1080p video, I think answers a lot of the reasons why people are still buying this camera in the M50 version and the Mark II version. So those are my reasons why I sold my Canon M50 and bought myself a Canon M50 Mark II, and why I didn't upgrade to something like the Canon M6 Mark II or the Sony a6400. I hope this video has given you some insight on some thoughts and ideas. And if it has, please like and subscribe. You can see I'm a brand new channel, and I do appreciate every single subscriber. If you've made it to this part, we're gonna go over of how you hook your regular Canon M50 up to live stream. So let's quickly go over how to live stream with your regular Canon M50. Of course, you're gonna need a capture card to stream with the Canon M50. And I used this one a few times and did a video on it, and it's worked flawlessly for me. I'll put that link above, and I'll put all the links to all these items in the description. First, you're gonna need a micro USB and a micro HDMI cord. Second, you're gonna need to download Canon's Utility App 3 to be able to get unlimited runtime. Next, you need to set your camera to manual focus. So that's what you'll lose with the Canon M50 when you live stream, is autofocus. But if you're doing content when you're not moving around a lot, it really won't make a difference. But if you are, this is one of the main reasons why I upgraded to the Canon M50 Mark II. You also need to go into your tools menu and change eco mode and turn it off. Now, after you plug in your USB cable and your HDMI cable, you'll utilize the utility app and be able to set all your parameters right from your computer if you like, because you'll be able to adjust your shutter speed and your ISO. I've even taken pictures and thumbnails while I'm using this app. It's very useful in a lot of different ways. So now you just connected your Canon M50 to get the best look while live streaming.